Which of these free agents, if you had to choose one, would you want on the Green Bay Packers? Stephon Gilmore, Micah Hyde, or Michael Thomas? Stephon Gilmore, obviously not the premier island-type corner he used to be, but still a really high-level corner. Packers, I think, have one in Jair, who's had injury history. Then opposite that, you can't feel confident of, like, you have a legit star there, nor do you feel like he's even truly blocking anyone. Like, if you are competing for a Super Bowl, you're willing to stunt the growth of Stokes or anyone else there to pursue that Super Bowl, as opposed to, let's say, if you're the Vikings or the Bears in this division. They're more of like, hey, we're trying to make the playoffs. We'd still rather give our young guy a little run, like the Packers last year. Give the young guys run because we're not going to go win a Super Bowl. This year, it's fair to say that you at least have to have that in the back of your mind because you won a playoff game. You didn't win the division. Stephon Gilmore, I think, would improve your chances. Micah Hyde, similar. A little different position.
Do we have an idea? Ryan, you might be able to help me with this. Do we have an idea of what these guys might cost?
It's all one-year deals, so it doesn't matter. Like,
right, on a one-year deal?
These will all be one-year deals.
And the Packers could afford it.
I would assume Stephon Gilmore might be in like the 7 to 10 million range. The other two guys, Micah Hyde and Michael Thomas, I would imagine 5 million or less. 1 year, like Jim said.
And D-Bot?
D-Bot? Are we throwing
We didn't put
D-Bot
him on
in
the
there?
list. Nobody wants D-Bot back.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
The Bears do.
The Bears do.
According to the Bears also, the Bears are listed like number one odds for all these players because they have some cap space. They're a young upcoming team. They could use some vets, so they've just been slotting guys in there. Michael Thomas is the other one. So Thomas hasn't been healthy enough to play a full season since 2019. And again, if he's coming in as and I wouldn't put him on the list, honestly. You kind of have Thomas. That's
for
the
me,
one
it's kind of just the first two.
Hyde brings a lot of leadership to defense, a lot of veteran presence, and then Stephon Gilmore.
And he was a Green Bay
too.
Packer already.
Yes. So 844-770-3776. You can chime in with a different free agent if you want to have the sentimental vote of David Bakhtiari. You can do that, like Matt Hamilton.
I don't think anybody does.
Michael Thomas, Micah Hyde, Stephon Gilmore are the three that we put out there for you.
It's not Michael Thomas.
Okay, I'm saying to our fans as well.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean,
like I couldn't even. That would legitimately upset me as a Packer fan.
I agree on the Michael Thomas part that it doesn't make sense.
Just because,
as long as everyone stays healthy.
Because it felt like he held out one season a little bit, and then it seemed like when he was recovering from an injury, he was like kind of maybe it was just the injury and he wasn't fully recovered, but it kind of looked like he was dogging it for a while. And the only reason I know this is because I bet on his return in fantasy football thinking he was going to be legit, and I am now a hater of Michael Thomas. He tanked my season.
I mean, I'm just looking at the depth chart for the Packers at the safety position, and it's not good. Like, Javon Bullard.
So you're saying Micah Hyde?
Yeah. I mean, and part of me is being biased, too, because I hate... It sucked the way... Okay, number one, he was an Iowa Hawkeye. Loved him as a Hawkeye. Loved him his first couple of years with the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, his time was cut here, and then he was successful in Buffalo. So it's tough seeing him being cut and then being successful again, and being successful for a lot of years. It feels like he's been in Buffalo for a long time.
Yep.
6 years, maybe?
But then it's like, I think about it, he is old. Are we going to add an older safety? Is that really going to help? I don't know.
I think a guy like Micah Hyde, to your point, I think at this point in his career, with the offers that if they end up signing with the Packers, I think he's signing to win, which means he's signing to be a presence where he is needed. So maybe it is Bullard and McKinney, but if someone's hurt or any, like Micah Hyde signs this contract knowing he is a vet backup, that you don't have to have all new play. Obviously, McKinney's a vet, so like, but the other side of it, you have young players. So if you have Hyde in there and you vetted, if Hyde's signing on knowing he's going to be veteran depth, that could work.
I'm also very curious, too, because I was listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy the other day, and Jason Wilde made an appearance, and they asked about Eric Stokes and how he's looked thus far, and he said not good. That was his very first thing that he said. So it's like, okay, bringing in a cornerback.
So Stephon
again,
Gilmore,
he's older, but...
So Eric Stokes is the poster child for, like, remember, after year one, this is what every fan base does. Stokes is going to be the next great corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
High draft. He's from Georgia. He's got the measurables. He was bad for the first 10 games before he got hurt in year two. And then, obviously, he came back. He was not the same player. And I just don't know. And injuries can be enough to derail your development that you're just not going to be that guy. Mm-hmm. So, combined with the fact that the Packers I think in their minds should legitimately think that, hey, a few breaks, maybe we get to the Super Bowl. Then Stephon Gilmore is a guy that gives you more room for error there.
Yeah.
That, okay, let's say you sign Stephon Gilmore, and let's say a lot of it's not guaranteed. Stokes crushes it. Well, then you can cut Gilmore at some point. But otherwise, you sign Gilmore, and if he's just a league average corner, that might be better than what you were going to have at corner.
Right.
And then you have Jair on the other side. Also, Jair, not known for being healthy throughout the year. So if Jair's down, and then you can put Gilmore as your lead corner, that could do it. So Stephon Gilmore, I would say.
I think that's my pick.
And it's with the it's also hurting the Cowboys then, because he's last of the Cowboys.
Does that matter?
Like the Cowboys are still a team that maybe it will never click for them, but they are a team that will probably be in the playoffs.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I just feel like the Packers, when it comes to playing the Cowboys in the playoffs, it's
As long as it's at AT&T Stadium.
pretty much.
Yeah, no, and
like I appreciate the Cowboys, and there are a lot of people on that team, and I like Mike McCarthy. There's a lot of people on that team that I like and that I root for until the Packers are playing them. But it just doesn't ever feel like a team that you're like, oh man, I'm
afraid
really
of
scared.
them. Yeah.
And that's just history, like with the Packers.
It's not. It's. I still have a little bit of fear from him because I grew up in the old Favre-Aikman shootout days, and I feel like Aikman kind of got the better of him.
right
for the most
yes,
part.
oh, absolutely. The Cowboys definitely were the team. Deion Sanders intercepting passes, like the Cowboys were the team in front of the Packers during that Favre
And
era.
by the way, at
I'm
that
not that
time in
old.
the 90s, that was like the heyday of the like transition between like commercial and the game, where you'd have like battling robots on the football field, or weird bad CGI. Like
I literally don't
transitioning.
even know what you're talking about. Is that why like the
I used to have a robot.
So back in the
I don't
day,
know what
they
you're talking
had
about.
the one. Though I'm thinking of specifically Packers Cowboys. They had like Packer and Cowboy like dinosaurs.
Okay,
That's
they
why-
used to have
it was
Fox used to have a
awesome.
the
robot.
90s are wild.
The 90s were wild, Molly.